The man wide open. Into Los Angeles territory goes Anthony Allen, and Anthony Allen takes it to the 41-yard line.
We were isolated on Anthony Allen, number 87, out of the University of Washington, where he was one of the most prolific receivers in Husky history. Watch what he does. He coasts it first, lets it clear out, crosses. He's wide open there, and he's going to be forced out by number 54, Howard Carson, and also Edward Scott, the cornerback, number 23. That's one of those patterns that's effective after play action. The play action is what set it up.
Allen has had 13 catches in the last 4 games. He caught 14 passes earlier in the year when he played for the LA Express. Oh my, power play, not much there. Howard Carson comes up to stop it in a hurry.
Good gang tackling by the Express.
Let's go downstairs now to our colleague Ted Dawson. Ted?
Thank you, Tim. I thought that people at home might be interested in seeing the still pictures that the defensive coaches take from upstairs here at the Coliseum. These are the various defensive tendencies on various plays. They send them down here for the defensive team to look at, to see what the offensive team to look at, see what the defensive guys are doing in the various sets. That's how complicated it is down here on the field.
You know, that was outlawed in the National Football League. George Allen started it in this league because it is legal. And now all of the teams have adopted that, and it does give a pretty good picture to the defensive personnel. This ball is bounced to Ken Lacey, incomplete.
It's a good reminder about it being outlawed in the National Football League. I had forgotten that, but I remember as a third-string quarterback with the Giants, that used to be one of my jobs. I was the relay man. I'd get those Polaroids and run them over to the coach.
What would happen if you got in the ball game? You'd be winded.
That's right. That didn't happen too often. There are a couple of fellows named Charlie Connolly and Y.A. Tittle. Kept me on the bench for about 3 years.
2:31 remaining in the third quarter. From the LA Coliseum, Tim Brantley, Gross Cup. Bobby Hebert under pressure. Steps up into the pocket, drills the football, but an outstanding defensive play out there by Troy West. It was intended for Terry Miller, but Troy West, the big play man in the nickel defense for LA, played inside out and knocked it away.
I knew we'd be calling the name of Troy West before the day was over. He's out of USC. He was the last cut of the Los Angeles Rams a year ago. Hebert is throwing for Terry Miller, number 43, but Troy West has consistently been one of the best players in their secondary, even though he has only played in a part-time role throughout the season. He leads the team in interceptions with a total of 6.
Skip Johnson with a 39-yard average is on to punt. Johnson replaced David Greenwood, who went out with knee surgery earlier in the year, and he shanks this punt. But it won't hurt him. It will not hurt that badly. It goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line. It was a bad snap and a bad punt. It ended 21 yards.
You are looking.
The Express trail by 1, but it has not dampened the enthusiasm of the crowd and the cheerleaders here, with 2:19 remaining in the third quarter. LA has the football. Steve Young is the quarterback. Young rolls right, has Banaszak breathing down his neck, and he just throws the ball away. That'll draw a flag. Well, Kyle Borland and John Banaszak chase Steve Young halfway back to Alameda.
Alameda, California, where I live. Closest man there was an offensive lineman, Jeff Hart, number 72.
Well, Kyle Borland, number 52, is called for roughing the passer. Jeff Hart jumped a little bit too early, was downfield on the pass play. Illegal receiver downfield, so the 2 penalties offset.
Let's take a closer look. Steve Young, it looks like a broken play here. He wanted to roll the other way. Now all of a sudden he's in trouble. He's throwing the ball out. JoJo Townsend was the closest eligible receiver, but actually the closest man there was Jeff Hart, number 72.
Second time Hart's had that called against him today. The first one called a touchdown back. Los Angeles scored. It was nullified by Hart's penalty.
That's a good reminder. I think a lot of people have forgotten that in the first half, Steve Young had a touchdown pass called back when he escaped the grasp of John Corker and threw the ball to Mel Gray for a 4-yard touchdown. That hurt. So Los Angeles trails in the game still 14-13.
David Hersey comes into the ball game as an added receiver. JoJo Townsell comes to the bottom of the screen. Malcolm Moore, number 84, goes to the top. Hersey goes in motion. Young drills the ball to Hersey, who has it at the 35. Picks up a block to the 42-yard line. David Hersey.
David Hersey, a talented rookie out of the University of Tulsa, Tim, is a guy we have liked in previous games that we've covered. He comes from his H-back position, runs a hook pattern here, escapes the grasp of Ray Bentley, number 50, turns back upfield, and is finally brought down in the secondary by safety man Ron Osborne, who has been very active today for them. 4 catches now for Hersey for 61 yards.
David apparently recovered from a separated shoulder he had earlier in the year. 2-step drop, and JoJo Townsell drops the football. It should have been a catch.
No doubt about that one. He's running the 5-yard hook. 5-yard hook by JoJo Townsell. Steve Young hits him right on the numbers. See what he does here? He looks upfield before he has the football. Sports quiz. You can't run without the what?
The football, the pigskin, whatever you want to call it, the spheroid.
Excellent. You get A+ on that quiz.
First time I've ever passed a test.
Steve Young now 11 of 21 for 166 yards on the day.
48 seconds remaining in this quarter. The winner of this game goes on to the Western Conference Championship. This is Kevin Nelson, who tried to bounce outside but lost his footing. Larry Bethea was the man that threw him off balance. This defense of Michigan, which ranks 3rd in the USFL, has had its problems this year. Clarence Chapman was suspended for missing some meetings and being late for practice. Larry Bethea, John Corker were suspended at one point. Larry Bethea was benched earlier in this ball game. Did not start the ball game because he was late for a meeting. Young on 3rd down throws, and Nelson can't hang on. So on 3rd and 8, it looks like they'll have to punt it away.
2 drop passes. Those are drive killers, Tim. And you know what? This has been a very fast 3rd quarter. And we've got a barn burner going into the 4th.
The LA Coliseum, the site of the 23rd Olympiad, which starts in just a couple of weeks. Jeff Partridge, number 16, is on to punt. And he throws, and he's got a man, and it's complete. To the 40, the 30. Wyman Henderson down inside the 25-yard line to the 24-yard line. Wyman Henderson on the fake punt. Partridge throws, and Henderson makes the catch. 33-yard pickup. But they'll bring it back. The penalty against Los Angeles will nullify the big play.
Unsportsmanlike act, hiding in the bench area. This game, 4th down. No loss.
Well, John Corker wants the ball right there. He wants a loss of down, but it'll be 4th down. They'll have to punt it over. The call, unsportsmanlike play on Los Angeles because the player, Wyman Henderson, came out of the bench area without reporting into the official.
Unsportsmanlike act, hiding in the bench area. That is an amazing. That's the old sleeper play. You remember the variation of the old sleeper play where you hide a guy? Now let's see if we can see. Jeff Partridge throwing from punt formation. Here's Wyman Henderson, number 22, along the sidelines, but apparently did not report to the official. He hid in the bench area, came off the field illegally. Let's see if we can get a better look at it. We can't see that he's hiding, but if he did not report to the official and came from the bench late, then it is an illegal play, an unsportsmanlike act. We still can't see that he comes from out of bounds or that he was indeed hiding. in the bench area, as was called by the official. But that's something, you remember when you used to play touch football, the old sleeper play, Tim?
Well, right now, John Hadel is talking with the referee, Bill Parkinson. He is extremely upset. At the end of the third quarter, there's your score. The divisional playoff will continue after this message and a word from our local stations. Number 16 is on to punt it after a very controversial call, and we'll explain that right after this punt play. No fake this time. This time he gets the punt off, and it takes Walter Broughton all the way back to the 25-yard line, and it'll die right on the line. Now, Jack Pitkus, the head's linesman, number 62, is the man that made the call on that last controversial call. He has talked with John Hadel. John Hadel says a player can come out of the huddle anytime and line up anywhere he wants. Jack Pitkus says he can't be within 5 yards of the bench area. Very quickly, let's go down to Ted Dawson, see if he has more on the situation.
Thank you very much, Tim. I was just talking with John Hadel. He plans to file an official protest with the league commissioner over that. He said the official is dead wrong. Henderson came out of the huddle. There's no way they can call that play. That's John Hadel's view. All
right, Ted. It is, without a doubt, the most controversial call of this ball game, and certainly one that we haven't seen made all season. L.A. tried to fake punt in the opening game, lost to Denver. That was unsuccessful after Denver diagnosed the play. Here's a flag drop here. If we get a chance, we'll try to show you the play again because it was a terribly controversial call.
John Hadel claims that Wyman Henderson, number 22, came out of the huddle. He is lining up on the left. Jeff Partridge throwing from punt formation. Henderson all alone there. And the man who makes the call is the official right behind you. You see the flag dropped back there. So he was in a good position to see it. But John Hadel claims it was a legal play.
First and 20.
So Michigan is called for holding. They move it back. It'll be first and 20. It was a 33-yard pickup on that fake punt, but it was all for naught. It was nullified. The heads linesman called it back. Hebert with pressure on the backside from Weaver drops the ball to Lacey at the 20, bounces outside, and is taken down at the 20-yard line.
Tim, as you look at the third quarter numbers, you can see how this game has really gotten closer. Total yards very close there, 280 for Los Angeles, 223. LA still dominating in terms of their time of possession numbers, and that's a surprise because Michigan, along with Birmingham and Philadelphia, has been one of the top TOP teams, time of possession, in the league this year. The key still, I think, 3 turnovers for Los Angeles.
A gain of 5 for Ken Lacey. It'll be third and 15. 13 minutes, 36 seconds remaining in this ball game. Michigan leads by a point. This ball intended for Derek Holloway. Daryl Patillo was the defender over there, and it was close to pass interference, but a good no call.
This is what happens along the sideline. This is the communication they use in flashing the plays. Plays are called down, given to Whit Taylor, the backup quarterback there, who then flashes them to the quarterback on the field, Bobby Hebert. He then checks his wrist, calls the play.
Third and 15 from the 20-yard line. Bobby Hebert now faces a violent pass rush. Walter Broughton is in motion. Here comes Weaver from the backside. Hebert goes down, but he completes the pass across the middle for a first down. Walter Broughton is the man who made the reception. Bobby Hebert slow getting up. He has been nagged by a knee injury and will probably have surgery at the end of the year.
Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver, number 61, the defensive end, is the man who applies the backside pressure on Hebert, along with number 75, George Achika. Watch the pressure now as Hebert steps forward in the pocket, throws as he's going down. The target is number 24, Walter Broughton, a former running back when he was at Jacksonville State.
An 18-yard pickup. Hebert now has thrown for 111 yards. Hebert on first down throws. This time Holloway breaks the tackle, has another first down to the 40. Howard Carson, the linebacker, knocks him out there.
Derek Holloway, the little flyer out of the University of Arkansas, who was overshadowed in publicity by Gary Anderson when he was there, runs a 5-yard hook and then slips back to the outside, gets away from Wyman Henderson, number 22 right there, and then Howard Carson, number 54, comes along to make the tackle. That's the first catch of the day for Derek Holloway, who we talked about at the very top of our show. Pound for pound, he is one of the strongest men in professional football. Despite his diminutive stature, he bench presses 375 pounds, squats with 580.
That 22-yard pickup moves it to the LA 40. And Miller picks up close to another first down. Michigan taking charge now. And oh, Lee Grosscup, have we seen the ebb and flow of power in this ball game. First it was Los Angeles, now it's Michigan.
We thought we had a good matchup. We talked about that at the very top of the show. Michigan, a team with the experience. They have veterans who have playoff experience, guys who have been there, guys you figure are going to peak at the right time, just like they did last season. LA, of course, a bunch of great young players, maybe the best young talent in the league. But will they gel in time? We'll see.
Terry Miller, who hasn't played in quite a while, has 28 yards, 5 carries for the Michigan Panthers. 2nd and 1 from the 30. This is Miller, has the first down and then some inside the 25-yard line.
So Terry Miller and Cleo Miller, 2 backup runners, along with Lacey and Williams. They have had fresh backs in the game almost continuously since the second quarter. Miller gets the ball off the left side there. There's a good opening, and that's north and south running, meaning that he points his nose toward the goal line and goes for it.
What do you think's going through John Hadel's mind now after a successful 4th down fake punt pass for 33 yards that was nullified? Giving Michigan back the ball with 11 minutes left in the ball game. John Williams cuts back inside against the grain, breaks a tackle to the 9-yard line. John Williams, who had 161 yards last weekend, the regular season finale, and was the USFL Player of the Week.
Aaron Mitchell, in isolation from his safety position, has been not only a top interceptor for the Express, but also one of the leading tacklers on the team, and he has to come up and make the tackle on John Williams, loses the grasp, and then it's Dwight Drain who comes along to finish the job off. John Hadel, who was an All-American at 2 positions when he played for the University of Kansas, both running back and quarterback.
44 years old. He may feel much older than that right now. Williams to the 4.
So this has been an impressive Michigan drive. This is what we associate with Michigan Panther football, Tim. We saw them early in the season when they were on their 6-game win streak come in and dominate the Denver Gold, game we covered where they won 28-zip. And this is what they did best. Tackle-to-tackle running. Trap plays, power plays, dive plays.
John Williams now has 90 yards. He signed a series of 1-year contracts for 3 years, so he'll be with the Michigan Panthers for quite a while, even though Ken Lacey now will go to the National Football League with the Kansas City Chiefs following this year. We've got 9 minutes, 43 seconds remaining in this ball game. Michigan has a 1-point lead, but they're threatening again. The United States Football League is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Today's game is being sponsored by Lowenbrau. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. And by Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol coats, soothes, and relieves. Pepto-Bismol for most common stomach discomforts. I think John Hadel could use some of that right now with 9:43 left in the ball game.
I was thinking the same thing. It's been a frustrating day for John Hadel. He saw one of his gadget plays go awry. A touchdown pass by Steve Young was called back. What else can happen?
He knows about the pressure of the playoffs, though. He's been there so many times as a player before. This is rookie year as a head coach. John Williams, right side, looks inside, goes to the 3-yard line. Dwight Drain saved the touchdown for L.A.
Dwight Drain, a sensational rookie out of the University of Oklahoma. They think he can develop into one of the top safety men in the league. John Williams starts out on a sweep play to his right, follows his blocking. He makes the cut right here. And look who's up there from the safety position to greet him. Number 33, Dwight Drain.
The Michigan offensive line now dominating. It is experienced. Ray Penny played in the Super Bowl. Jeff Wiska, the USFL championship last year. Wayne Radloff, NCAA champs, the Super Bowl. Tyrone McGriff and Tony Austin, the USFL championship. This is Hebert. Touchdown, Michigan. Mike Cobb, the tight end, makes his first catch of the day, and it's a touchdown.
So despite playing with a bad cartilage in his knee, Bobby Hebert is nimble enough on the bootleg play to get outside the corner and look for his target, Mike Cobb. See this little move? Just enough mobility. You can see that he's a little gimpy, but he has enough mobility to get outside, take his time, throw that nice soft pass in there to Mike Cobb, number 89, and it settles into his numbers for the touchdown. Makes that one look easy. And they set it up, Tim, with the run.
Big extra point for Novo Bojovic because the two-point play is allowed in this league. So that point was a big one. Michigan 21, Los Angeles 13. We'll be back for the final 8 minutes and 57 seconds after this. Bobby Hebert with the touchdown pass to Mike Cobb, and the strong-arm Cajun has really come to life to bring his team up 21-13. Novo Bojovic to kick off. You see the shift. They feign the onside kick, now line up in their lanes, and they kick it away deep. This one will be fielded on a hop by Tony Bodie on the 11. And he gets it back to the 20-yard line.
Graphic on the scoring drive shows you that it was pretty much vintage Michigan. You know, they took 10 plays to go 75 yards, were able to use up 5 minutes and 53 seconds. And it culminated with a play-action pass, little bootleg move by Hebert as he rolled to his right, found his tight end Mike Cobb in the end zone. We've seen them do that sort of thing so many times over the last 2 years, Tim.
When we talked about momentum, we talked about the favorite of this ball game way back at the top of the show. We said that LA was the favorite. Lee Grosscup said, don't count out the defending champion Michigan Panthers. And oh, have they played well. Young escapes one tackler, now looks upfield, tucks it away and gets up to the 26-yard line, and he is punished for it. Well, we're looking to see if Young gets up. He doesn't. He's slow getting up, and he's going to leave the ball game, I believe. No, he's going to go back in. He really took a lick. Kyle Borland and Ray Bentley were the tacklers who came up and really nailed Steve Young.
Steve Young looked a little dizzy, though, as he was getting up. One of the things he does so well, of course, is the scramble move. Escape dimension, moves out of the pocket to his right, comes here. Now watch the collision right there. The man who gets the first hit and the hardest hit is Kyle Borland, number 52, but also applying the pressure are Tipton and Bentley.
Boy, Bentley really may have given Young a headache. Spinning, turning, driving goes Mel Gray for the first down, and this is where the Young Express must come of age. Right now, here's Ted Dawson.
Thank you very much, Bobby Hebert, with a sensational drive, but I noticed you favoring your knee and holding it when you came off the field. How is it?
Well, it's hurting me a little bit. It feels like it's starting to lock up on me, but if I can keep it loose, I think I'll be all right.
Is there any question in your mind that you can continue to play?
Yeah, I can play. I just got to, play with a little pain, but the game's not over. We just got to get the ball and score again if we get it.
Bobby, congratulations to you. Bobby Hebert. Timmy?
Bobby's had that nagging injury for quite a while now on the knee. He may have to have knee surgery at the end of the season. He hopes that's not very soon. Here's the wide receiver screen to JoJo Townsell, who breaks the tackle and gets up close to another LA first down. You know, it's been a bittersweet season for Bobby Hebert with record-breaking performances, but he also has had 22 interceptions.
JoJo Townsell in isolation here has been Steve Young's favorite receiver since Steve joined the team in April. You see that he's running back toward Young in motion, takes a hitch pattern there, picks up a block from his center, Mike Ruther. So it's kind of a little sideline or slip screen there, which is a way to create an open field situation for a versatile receiver like Townsell. 2nd and 1, Mel Gray has the first down.
Mel Gray, first down.
Question is, was that a clip by Ruther?
It looked like it might have been a clip on the previous play.
I thought so too. They were out of the neutral zone, away from the 5-yard distance.
According to Ted Dawson, we've got quite a bit of wind coming up down there on the field now, and that could be a factor here in the 4th quarter. However, right now Steve Young has the wind at his back. Malcolm Moore comes to the bottom of the screen. JoJo Townsell to the top.
5:45 left in the ball game, and on first down, Young to throw. In trouble. Escapes it across the middle, and it's complete to Hersey. If he hadn't caught the pass, there would have been pass interference, I do believe. Watch Ray Bentley go piggyback on Hersey.
David Hersey, who we've talked about from his H-back position, has executed this play well. Double motion, up the seam, hooks to the outside, and here is the aforementioned piggyback maneuver that Tim Brandt just told you about. Ray Bentley, the leading tackler on the team, who we spotlighted in our pregame show, has probably been the most consistent player over the 2-year span for the Panthers.
A 6-yard pickup, it'll 2nd and 4. This is Mel Gray. Mel Gray will be a yard shy of the first.
Now remember, Tim, you mentioned this while we were away, trailing by 8 points now. Should Los Angeles score, I think we can almost certainly expect the 2-point play. No one does that better than Steve Young, because when he rolls out, he has the option to run or pass.
21-13 is the score. Michigan leads with 4:35 left in this game. It is paramount now that LA maintains its composure. 3rd and 1. This is the pitch back to Gray, and he won't make it. Matter of fact, he loses a yard, and it'll bring up a very critical, crucial 4th down situation for John Hadel, Steve Young, and the LA Express. The biggest decision he's had to make with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left, trailing 21-13. He's got a 4th down situation. Michigan 21, Los Angeles 13. We've got 4 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the ball game. Certainly one of the biggest plays of the game for Los Angeles.
Look for a bootleg here. Look for a bootleg here, Tim.
4th and 1. 4th and 1. Young under pressure. Has to sprint. He has the first down. Los Angeles has new life, but Young looks like he's hurt. Steve Young, who was shaken up just 2 plays ago, is still down on the Los Angeles sideline. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the New Jersey-Philadelphia game. The Stars apparently in control there, leading 28-0. Steve Young is up and back on the field.
What tremendous courage by Steve Young, who gets a real shot along the sideline. Here's the bootleg play. Mike Durrett is the man who kicks out on Kyle Borland to set it up so that he can find the seam. And watch what happens as he slides here along the sideline. Number 23, Ron Osborne, the safety man, gets a real shot on Steve Young. They've been encouraging to do the hook slide. He says, every time I do that, I get hurt.
Keep in mind, the 2-point conversion is legal in the USFL. This is first down. Mel Gray sidesteps, spins, turns his way up to the 40-yard line. Now in Michigan territory. We've got 2 minutes, 54 seconds left here. Michigan leads 21-13. Early in the ball game, Los Angeles had control and took a commanding 10-0 lead, seemingly commanding at the time. But then they had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Michigan scored twice in 31 seconds, and they led at the half 14-10. There was a tremendously controversial call here in the second half. On 4th down, Los Angeles went to a trick play. They picked up 33 yards in the first, but it was called back on a penalty. This is Young, who throws across the middle. He has a man. It's his tight end, Darren Long. And he's down deep in Michigan territory. They'll mark it at the 17-yard line.
Young is hurt. Young is hurt.
Steve Young, who has been playing with pain here, you see him right there as he appears to be hurt again. On 3 occasions, we have seen him start to leave the game.
He is going to leave now, Lee Gross Cup. Frank Sire comes on. He and Steve Young having words at midfield, and Young sends him back.
Steve Young was sacked as he released the ball that time, and he went to his tight end, Darren Long, out of Cal State Long Beach. Watch the pressure applied to Steve Young as he takes his drop. It's number 79, Larry Bethea, who is the leading sacker on the team for the Panthers. That's Long, number 89, who caught all those passes from Todd Dillon when he was at Cal State Long Beach.
Young in his first professional playoff game is 14 of 27 for 205 yards. We've got 2 minutes now. And the Express putting the pressure on the Panthers. The winner of this game goes on to the Western Conference Championship. Los Angeles trails by 8, but the two-point conversion is an option in this league. LA is 4 of 5 in the two-point conversion this season, 3 for 3 with Steve Young. This is first down from the 17. Young, under pressure, throws across the middle, and it's dropped, but there's a flag down, pass interference. It was intended for Malcolm Moore. Ron Osborne, number 23, and Oliver Davis, 21, with the defensive backs out there covering. Steve Young, what a gutsy performance here in the fourth quarter. He was popped earlier by Kyle Borland and Ray Bentley. He was shaken up, did not leave the game. He came back 2 plays later. Osborne tagged him again. Both times, Steve Young got the first.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 57 will be accepted.
So, Robert Pennywell was tagged first. That penalty is declined. John Corker roughed the passer. They accept that penalty, and that'll move the ball down inside the 10-yard line.
John Corker, the USFL Defensive Player of the Year last year, is the man who comes in and hits Steve Young with a late shot. Called there for roughing the passer.
1 minute, 55 seconds remain from the LA Coliseum. Tim Brantley, Gross Cup.
This game has been everything we thought it might be, Tim, and more.
The Michigan Panthers, the defending USFL champion. The Los Angeles Express, 10-8 on the season, getting stronger every game. Malcolm Moore in motion. The give is to Kevin Nelson. There's a flag, and Nelson is taken down quickly by number 79, Larry Bethea. So the Michigan Panthers, good pursuit. Running to the football, and the penalty is against Los Angeles. So the Express continue to hurt themselves. We should tell you that LA had a touchdown called back in the first half. Jeff Hart was called for being downfield illegally.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 84, first down.
This penalty is against Malcolm Moore.
David Hersey, the H-back in motion. No, that's Malcolm Moore, number 84, in motion. He turns upfield just a little bit too early.
4 penalties, 40 yards against the LA Express. First down, 13 yards for the first, and the touchdown. This pass isn't cut. No good. He's out of bounds. JoJo Townsell made the catch, dragged his feet. But Marlon McKeever was the defender, and he couldn't get his feet in bounds. It would have been a touchdown. Vito McKeever, rather.
The very end of this play will give you a closer look at the call. Remember, this is a 2-foot league. That means both feet must be in bounds. And it looks right there that he drags both feet and that they are indeed inside the marker there. It looks like a perfect play.
Well, they just showed the replay on the big screen here at the LA Coliseum, and you can hear the reaction of the crowd. So controversial calls continue to go against Los Angeles. Hersey in motion. Young, draw play, Kevin Nelson. Nelson gets back to the 12-yard line. David Tipton is the man who trips him up.
One more look at the controversial call. Remember, it's a 2-foot league. There's the left foot. That's good. Here's the right foot. That looks even better.
Well, he's got white shoes on, and they're also taped. And on that white line, it's a tough call for the official.
Good reminder.
1:08 remaining. Third down. This is Young. He's under pressure. Escapes. Young to the 10, the 5, to the 1-yard line. Did he get in? He thinks he did. The official says no, they'll mark it at the goal line. Oh my, Steve Young, gutsy play, takes it down to the 1.
Watch Steve Young get away from Carlton Rose. Watch this. Watch this. No, it's number 76. John Banaszak gets away from. Tony Bodie gets a block there. Steve Young appears to hit the flag, which is part of the goal line. that would have given him a touchdown. He thinks he's in. Oliver Davis is the man who makes the tackle, but they're calling it on the 1-foot line. Let's see if he hits the flag. He appears to.
And his hand was over.
His hand was over, but the ball was not. Remember, the rule is the ball must break the plane.
It's 4th and goal from the 1. The give. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Kevin Nelson scores for LA. That makes it 21-19. The 2-point conversion is paramount. They followed Jeff Hart, the veteran, 5-year starter for the Baltimore Colts, and Mike Durrett. Timeout, Los Angeles. It's their last timeout. That's Jim Stanley, the concerned head coach of the Michigan Panthers.
Another look at the touchdown as Kevin Nelson slashes off the right side and cuts underneath the closing linebacker. Jeff Hart and Mike Durrett apply the block. That was a good move to go low. By going low as he did, Kevin Nelson was able to squirm into the end zone. So now Steve Young, who is 3 for 3 on 2-point plays. The Express are 4 of 5 on 2-point conversions this season. Steve Young has done it exclusively on rollout plays. So you would assume he would go with some type of rollout, sprint out, or bootleg action. That would give him the option of either running the ball himself or dropping the ball off to one of his receivers.
80-yard drive, 16 plays, took 8 minutes and 5 seconds. LA has gone on 4th and 1 3 different times today, and they've been successful. They now go for the biggest play of the ball game, a 2-point conversion. As Lee Grosscup just amplified, they are 4 of 5 in 2-point conversions this season, 3 for 3 with Steve Young. Mel Gray and Tony Bodie are the setbacks. Long count, fake to Bodie. The corner is open for Young. 5, touchdown, extra point, 2-point conversion. It's all Steve Young. So Steve Young, who made the touchdown possible with his scramble, now comes back and scrambles backside for the 2-point conversion. We're tied with 52 seconds left at the LA Coliseum.
Steve Young, who learned his craft from Lavelle Edwards at BYU, looks to his right, scrambles back to his left. Watch the block by Mike Sherrod, number 86, on Mike Edwards, number 53, the 2-point play.
We've got 52 seconds remaining at the LA Coliseum. Tony Zendejas is the man to kick off the deep men for Michigan. Bobby Futrell and Ray Bentley. A short kick. Albert Bentley comes up, but it's Don Eccles who picks it up. Eccles to the 25, pulls his way up to the 26-yard line. So Albert Bentley never got up to have a chance to field the ball. It was Eccles, the tight end. Los Angeles says it's a loose football. We told you the drive lasted 8 minutes and 5 seconds. The 2-point conversion, perhaps the biggest play of Steve Young's career. The winner of this game advances to the Western Conference Championship and play the winner of tomorrow's Arizona-Houston game. ABC's coverage of the USFL continues tomorrow. Lee Grosscup and I will be in Birmingham, Alabama for the Tampa Bay-Birmingham game. Many viewers in this area will see Arizona-Houston. Derek Holloway and Anthony Allen, along with Ken Lacey and Terry Miller. Those are the skilled people, along with Bobby Hebert, your quarterback. Hebert under pressure, backside, drops it across the middle. Ken Lacey drops the football over the middle. Right now, the hero of the day, Steve Young, is with Ted Dawson. Ted?
Thank you very much, Tim. Steve Young, an incredible drive. You just kept coming, but physically, how are you? Are we going to be able to go into overtime?
I think so. A little fuzzy, but, you know, ribs again. They got him again, but when you're in a game, it's pretty loose, so I don't think it'll bother me right now.
John Hadel tried to pull you out of the ball game, and you said, no, I want to keep going.
It's just little things that you need a little break for a second, then you're ready to go again.
Steve, congratulations. A sensational drive. We'll see you in overtime.
Okay.
Steve Young, Tim.
39 seconds remain. Steve Young sat out the ball game last week at Arizona to rest those ribs and try to get them to heal. Here's the draw play to Lacey. And look at the emotion of 33 Dwight Crane. Quite a contrast here between Los Angeles and Michigan. Los Angeles, perhaps the youngest club in the USFL, with 42 players on the roster of 50 rookies or second-year players. Michigan, the defending USFL champion, certainly more experienced.
We spotlighted all of these particular matchups at the top of the show, and I think everything we talked about has come true. This has been an incredible football game.
Both teams now in a standoff. After 4 quarters of quite a Donnybrook, they watch the clock tick down. Michigan on 3rd down conversion. Had a big day, but they aren't going to get this playoff because time has expired. It will be overtime at the LA Coliseum. Michigan 21, Los Angeles 21. And they will now have the coin flip at midfield to see who gets the ball and when. For Steve Young today, he had 7 carries, 44 yards. In the passing department, he was 14 of 28 for 205 yards.
Of course, earlier this year, he became the first man in professional football history to rush for over 100 yards and throw for over 300 yards in the same game. That was against Chicago. According to the Alliance Sports Bureau, he's the only man in pro football history to ever have achieved that feat.
The great-great-grandson of Brigham Young.
Tail is tail, right? You're going to call? He calls heads. He calls heads. It's heads. Heads, you win the toss. We're going to receive. Which way we go? Over here, Red.
Robert Pennywell, 59. Jeff Hart, 72.
Michigan wins the toss, and we'll receive in 3 minutes.
Well, you heard our referee, Bill Parkinson, explain the coin flip has been won by Michigan. They have elected to receive. There will be a 3-minute break, and then these two teams will tee it up, line up, and go back out in the middle of the field. We've got a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. We're back at the LA Coliseum. Tim Brantley, Gross Cup. They have put 15 minutes on the clock. We'll play until one team scores. It is sudden death. If there's a tie at the end of the 15 minutes, we'll put 15 back and we'll start again. This is Albert Bentley up the left side, returning the kick by Tony Zendejas. Michigan has played 2 overtime games this year. They won them both. Novo Biovic kicked the winning field goal against Houston. They won that one 31-28. They also beat San Antonio 23-17. Los Angeles has been in overtime twice. They have won them both. 23-17 over Memphis, 27-24 over Houston. Tony Zendejas kicked the field goal to beat Houston. The winner of this game, I repeat, advances to the Western Conference Championship to play the winner of tomorrow's game between Arizona and Houston. Anthony Allen comes to the bottom of the screen. Derek Holloway to the top. Ken Lacey, John Williams are your setbacks. Just underway in overtime, 21-21. This is Hebert. 3-step drop pass Holloway up at the 46-yard line. And Lee Gross Cup, let me turn to you and ask if there is some adrenaline that stops flowing a little bit after that long 3-minute break.
I don't think so. In fact, in hot weather like this, it could be a break for them to come back. It's just a little something to get you refreshed. And you know, we've talked about the courage of Steve Young. Let's not forget Bobby Hebert, the Cajun Cannon. He's been playing with pain today, too. He's had a bad cartilage in the knee, which will probably require surgery once the season is completed for Michigan.
Hebert now 10 of 20, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is Terry Miller, who goes around the right side, picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Stats on regulation play now, Tim. Let's take a look. And you see one of the interesting things. Michigan, normally a time of possession team, has been dominated by Los Angeles 35-31 to 24-29. LA might have won the game in regulation time had it not been for 3 turnovers. Total yards very close, 347 to 314. This game, as I've said, Tim, has been one of the best that we have covered this year, if not the best.
Bobby Hebert had just 3 pass interceptions in the first 6 weeks of this season. His team was 6-0, but then he had 19 interceptions in the next 8 games, and they struggled. This a little screen pass. It goes back to his tight end, Mike Cobb, and Cobb has a lot of running room into the Los Angeles territory. I also should make mention that Bobby Hebert has not thrown an interception in the last 4 ball games.
Play that we saw Cobb work earlier, or rather Hebert work earlier, rollout screen where he throws back to the tight end. Set up well there. Good blocking for Mike Cobb. Creates an open field situation, loses 1 tackler, and now it's going to set it up for Novo Bojovic, if necessary.
Novo's longest field goal this year is 56 yards. 12:28 remaining in the overtime period. Sudden death, first to score wins. This is Miller, who bulls his way down and drops the football, but the whistle is blown.
Remember what we said at the top of the show. This is a team that has playoff experience. They've been there. The Panthers were here last year. They are the defending champions, and they have veterans with playoff experience. Bobby Hebert now 11 of 21 in the passing department for 165 yards. He picked up 16 yards on that last completion to Mike Cobb. Terry Miller, with 10 yards on that last carry, now has 49 yards on the day with 8 carries. Comparative stats there of the 2 quarterbacks.
First down, Michigan. Inside is Williams. Dwight Drain comes up and makes the tackle, and I doubt very seriously if we'll see Michigan go back to the air. Now it's all positioning, ground control. Set it up for Novo Bojovic.
We said of Novo when we spotlighted him at the top of the show, because he's the most flamboyant kicker we have ever seen, the most demonstrative, we forget how fundamentally sound he really is. Short range, medium range, and long range.
John Williams now has 96 yards and 17 carries, coming off his best game. He had 161 last year, or last week rather, in the season finale. This is Williams again.
John Williams trying to run the long trap play off the left side, a play that's been effective for him throughout most of the season.
John Williams to the 19-yard line. Novo Bojovic now inside the 30 this year is 9 of 11. Michigan has 2 timeouts remaining, and Jim Stanley wants a timeout now. Both teams have been given 2 timeouts for this overtime period. Michigan uses its first.
OT is exciting.
It is, but you have to wonder.